Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. Back to work. It's Monday morning, and I think now we all know that when it comes to a race at the Olympics, the only thing that matters that crosses the finish line is your torso, sir.
Well, in that case, it is. Yeah, and that's Noah Lyles, about whom you're talking. And that leads to question number 2 that I gave you right there, an embarrassing moment in the Olympics because the TV announcer called it wrong. Now, here's the deal. I can understand why he did. Who could determine who's the winner there?
That quickly. Yeah.
I mean, it's 5,000th of a second. 5,000th. That's the difference. It was the man's collarbone that made the difference. All right, the TV announcer for NBC, he just knew it was the kid from the Jamaica.
He thought he did. He thought it was him too. I mean, if you saw him cross that finish line, immediately you saw in his eyes. He immediately just like powered through.
And I think that fooled the announcer as well, and fooled the TV cameras as well. The guy's name is Kashane Thompson. But here's the cardinal sin that you don't make. Until it becomes official, you don't declare somebody the winner. You don't. No. You may think they are, and if he's a half a mile ahead, that's a different story. But in a close race like that, you wait for a decision, and sure enough, the decision was the other way. It was Noah Lyles who won it, and as a result, NBC had to come up with. Of course, the guy didn't say anything after that was announced. Who would?
Kept on moving.
And I can understand why. But again, that's one of the mantras of broadcasting. Until you are sure. Case in point, 1948 elections when Harry Truman defeated Thomas Dewey. Thomas Dewey was declared the winner in the New York Times. Big headlines: Dewey defeats Truman. And Truman made a big deal out of holding that paper up.
Also, the second mantra in broadcasting is if you make a mistake, you keep going, and you definitely don't acknowledge it.
Nope.
So, of course, that happened. I had a chance to watch Team USA Volleyball. Women looking pretty damn good. What else happened yesterday?
Well, we had any number of great events. You mentioned Noah Lyles, and he wins the World's Fastest Human Award. Now, whether he runs again in the relays, I don't know. But the fact of the matter remains it was 2 sports, and I'm partial to one of them, that really, in my mind, stuck out. Now, they were great events, don't get me wrong. Everything in the Olympics is a great event. And anytime the USA wins a gold medal, it's a great event. But the one, and I'm partial to tennis, was Novak Djokovic winning the gold medal. That's the only piece of all the awards that he's won. He's won the Grand Slam, the Pro Grand Slam. He'd never won a gold. And he did yesterday, beating Carlos Alcaraz, who had beaten him at Wimbledon just, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So here you have Djokovic going out there. Now, the Olympic tennis is 2 sets. It's best of 3. So it takes 2 sets to win. And Djokovic won both those sets 7-6, 7-6. Both were tiebreakers. It could have gone either way, but Djokovic, and he raised his eyes to the heavens. That's the gold medal that he desperately wanted. Now, he'll come here to New York and play in the U.S. Open coming up later on in late August and early September, and so will Alcaraz. But what a great deal. And then, and we've talked about this on any of our shows, whenever this kid, Scotty Scheffler, is hanging around at a tournament, doesn't how far behind he
It don't matter where he
don't
is.
Count him out. He shoots a 62, a course record, and wins the gold in the golf. And that's just utterly incredible. Won it by 1 stroke.
That guy, he has this ability to just ramp up focus, and I have never seen anything like that in the golf where it's just like it doesn't matter if he's 10 back. By the end of the tournament, man, he's going to be in the top 3. It's crazy. It's unbelievable.
There were other great moments. You had Kristen Faulkner, the first American cyclist to win the gold in 40 years. You have the basketball forthcoming. You have Simone Biles She's going for another medal in the gymnastics, all on the agenda. So it's just a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
U.S. leads with 72 total medals. China has a few more golds than us, but I assume that's going to change.
It will change. It will change because they probably won't win any more golds.
Yeah,
they may win some
they're
medals.
mainly the swimming and diving kind of thing.
19 gold, 27 silver, 26 bronze for the USA. That's a very good haul, but there are more to go, including key basketball. Well, the basketball tournament. This is the knockout part of it. And USA plays in men's competition tomorrow afternoon. They play Brazil, and they have not played Brazil at any time during this competition. Brazil has, I believe, one NBA player on the team and several former NBA players, but they're a team that if the USA plays well, should be able to handle.
It seems that my Kansas City Royals had a lot better time in Detroit than the Cardinals did in Chicago.
In all reality, and I'm not trying to denigrate them at all, but the Cardinals should have come out of that series 0-4. They come out 1-3. Cardinals lost to the Cubs last night 6-2. And the Cubs take 3 out of 4 in the series. Cubs were in a brain, I'm not going to use the term on the air, a brain dismissal of making it 4 out of 4 when the left fielder and the shortstop called each other off on a fly ball and it dropped in and the Cardinals scored 2 runs. That was Saturday, and the Cardinals escaped with a 5-4 win. Okay, in this one last night, Cardinals had a 2-0 lead on a home run by Mason Wynn. But Miles Michaelis on the hill gave up the 2 tying runs in the 4th, got rocked in the 5th inning, got nobody out when the Cubs scored 3 runs, and then they came back and put it away with a 6-2 win. I'll tell you, this is an interesting situation. Since the All-Star break, the Cardinals are 7 wins and 9 losses. And that's not enough to get back into the hunt. Now, St. Louis plays the New York Mets, and they play them this afternoon at Busch Stadium at a little after 4 o'clock. Now, why is that? It's because this is a makeup game from a postponement earlier. They had to figure out a date somewhere where they could fit in this makeup game, and that'll be at the Mets go to Colorado. The Cardinals get set to have the Tampa Bay Rays coming in starting tomorrow night, but this is a 1-game makeup today.
So, yeah, like I said, tough weekend for the Cardinals. Nice weekend for the Royals. They're gaining some ground on the Twins, which was nice to see.
They are, and they're just playing well. And you have to think that the magic is there, Mike. Look how they won yesterday. Trailing 2-0 in the 9th inning, get 2 men on, send up a pinch hitter, MJ Melendez, and what's he do? 3-run pinch hit home run. Royals win 3-2. It's magic when that is happening. Now, having said all that, I still think the Royals have a long way to go. Not so much to be in the playoff hunt, but to capture the lead from the Cleveland Guardians, who are continuing to play very well. But the fact of the matter remains, though, that Kansas City has done a complete turnaround, and watch out for them in coming years.
Yeah, offensively right now, they're just lights out. It's just the bullpen issues. That's the big deal. But, again, like I said, a lot of fun watching those guys this season, especially they got that Bobby Witt Jr. on the team. Let's talk about the Springfield Cardinals. They are back in town this week, right?
They are in town this week, coming back off a loss to the Tulsa Drillers by a score of 5-3 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was yesterday. But, hey, it's a new week coming up. The San Antonio Missions come into play for a 6-game series. So back home, and the home cooking is always just much more tasty.
You know that Ned and I are in the studio every day, and Sports Center usually is on the TV unless it's severe weather, and Ned makes me put it on the Weather Channel. We were actually...
That'll be the day, folks.
We're looking up at the same time, and we have definitely talked about the Chicago White Sox a few times this season. But they were actually posting some of the worst records I have ever seen a team in professional sports get in a long time.
20 consecutive losses. 20 consecutive. Well, when you think about this, my gosh, how close is this team to setting the record? And the answer is very close. And they could tie the American League record tonight. The White Sox play out in Oakland, California against the Oakland A's, who, while they're not the strongest team, they're not a pushover either. The record in the American League is 21 consecutive losses, and that was set by the Baltimore Orioles back in the late 1980s, I think 1988 if I remember correctly. A loss by the White Sox ties that record. And what is the all-time record for losses over a consecutive series during the regular season? My club. Philadelphia Phillies, and I remember it well, Mike. 1961, lost 23 in a row. I saw many of those games. I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore at Temple at the time. And Temple, of course, is only 8 blocks away from Connie Mack Stadium, so I'm going to games right and left, and they're losing all of them and thinking, oh, my goodness sake, what is this? Well, they weren't a very good team, but they were young and getting better, and from there on in, they improved mightily. But 1961, down year.
Sad time in South Chicago, Ned. You have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you mañana.
It's time for today's Lucky Land horoscope with Victoria Cash.
Life's gotten mundane, so shake up the daily routine and be adventurous with a trip to Lucky Land. You know what they say, your chance to win starts with a spin. So go to LuckyLandSlots.com to play over 100 social casino-style games for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Get lucky today at LuckyLandSlots.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.